But I think we already have grounds to go ahead and start working on our 2023 Gacha games tier list. Summoner's War is still the GOAT, creeping up on nearly a decade since its creation. They are constantly creating new game modes, new events, fun, unique characters, and there's just no other game that even really competes, so they're still in the S tier. Now, Dragalia Lost has been getting S tier year after year after year, but honestly, at this point, I think it's finally time to call it. This game is a beast for its time. It has exhaustive challenges that are going to take you forever to beat, very hard bosses that rely on skill, synergy, and teamwork. But with all the new stuff coming out, there's a reason I'm putting it down at the A tier, and we'll get into that later. We have Skylanders Ring of Heroes, which is another Com2uS game, but on its initial release in its first 2 years were such a hilarious disaster that they had to wipe it from the Play Store completely. They've consistently followed through with F tiers because of poor development, but I think they're starting to scrub away those errors and people are forgetting about it slowly, and they're starting a redemption arc, so we'll move them up to the D. Mobile Legends Bang Bang is the game I never thought would blow up, but has the most loyal fan base. With well over 10 million downloads for its release date, it is doing very good, so it would be foolish of me to put it anywhere other than the A tier. Ulala Idle Adventure was a previous S tier with extreme multiplayer functionality, character building and gear grinding and pet farming, and you can do all of this with friends. I'm not sure if we should keep it in the S tier or if we should move it down because it might be starting to run its course over time, but I don't see any other games like this one. It really seems like they've cornered their part of the market since developers are really starting to focus on these grand, majestic MMORPGs. Really, they don't have any competition for their gameplay type. Raid Shadow Legends is one of the most overrated mobile games. Everybody knows this. Even the character models look like they were designed for PS2 games, so I mean, it's kind of like a C. I used to be really into SinoAlice, like I would boast the extreme attention to detail and the amazing art. It would appear that they've collaborated with Fullmetal Alchemist, which is something that a lot of these developers are doing, where they're pairing with animes to try and get a couple of weeb downloads. For the 2% of people that are into Fullmetal Alchemist, I'm sure that's really, really cool. For the 98% of other people that don't give a shit, it's just kind of lame, so I'll drop it down to the C. Disgaea RPG, even if you're not a Disgaea fan, will introduce you to all of these characters in a fun way that keeps you engaged in the story. It doesn't compare with Dragalia Lost, that's for sure. So I think it'll be our first B. Since that F tier's a little barren, I'll go ahead and pull up Click Deity. FG3K even got a sponsor for this game, and they can barely break 10,000 downloads because it's so terrible. Mythic Heroes has been slowly losing it over time, but as more of these developers are pushing out these games, some of them are just doing it a little bit better. So it is getting lower as the market gets more saturated. I'd say it's a B now. Since we're on that same subject, I'll go ahead and pull up a Rage of Destiny. It's got the same issue. This is just not living up to expectations. Like, it did not age very well. Probably down to a D. Phobies is super underrated. Even just looking at the icon makes me smile. It's like PvP matches where you send out a little army of gacha characters. The enemy does the same thing, but you take turns in between closing and opening the game. So the matches could take anywhere from 5 minutes if you're both online, whoever you're fighting with, to a couple hours if they're not online. How they make up for that is they let you run multiple battles at a time, which is really cool. Even in the tutorial, they want you to run 10 battles so you can get a gist of what it's like if you're playing this game. If you want to be active constantly, you can do that. If you want to be a dude that logs on once a day to do an attack, you can do that, and it's just as valuable. This game is super cool, and it's going in the S tier. Chronicle of Infinity is still running its marketing pretty hard, and it still has a pretty high player base. It was in competition with Dark Nemesis whenever Dark Nemesis came out, but they actually lost to Chronicle of Infinity, so congrats on winning that. For its type of game, I don't even think it's the best in its category. So it's like a C. Aromancer is bizarre. It's got AI generated gacha characters, and you can make your own and customize your own characters with certain abilities. Yes, you are fighting other characters on a battlefield, but the way you actually fight is by using dance moves and sliding their icons around on a 3x3 grid. Different characters have different move patterns, so you want to test them all out to try and find a rhythm with some characters that works for you. It's pretty cool. I like it a lot. I'd say it's better than Disgaea, but not as good as Mythic Heroes. Here we go, Warhammer. Did anybody play this game longer than a day and a half? Pretty underwhelming for a Warhammer title. You'd think that they would do better with all the money they have, but I guess not, so it's down here in the D. Near Reincarnation is strange. It's got that edgelord vibe to it, like their game is trying really hard to be dark and mysterious. D. Disney Mirrorverse is okay. It has extreme gameplay, full actionable movements. You get to dodge by swiping the stick. For what it is a pretty good game, but the only thing you can do in it is fight. And the pay to win is super ridiculous, so it's kind of like a low B. Calibria Crystal Guardian started as an A. They had good ideas. You could change the abilities of the characters, but their execution was lacking and they ended up getting shut down, bringing them down to a C, and then they re-released the exact same game with no changes, hashtag no changes. Oh my god. I don't know why people do that. So now it's all the way down to a D. Eversole is probably the most overrated gacha game on the Play Store right now. It does have some real pretty girls, so I could see why some people would like that, but it has zero substance whatsoever. It's down here with Nier. Path to Nowhere, we're taking gacha themes and incorporating them into a tower defense game. This is how you do adult themes correctly. Take notes, Nier Reincarnation. It is a lot of fun, I enjoy the theme, and it's pretty cool. I'll put it in the A. Vanilla Saga has something for everybody. You have your idle game with gacha life inside of it. You get to build your little house, and you get to watch the chibi characters run around the map, and that's super fun for some people. You have a little Animal Crossing game in your gacha game. I could see how that's cool. So I guess that's a low A. Mega Man X-Dive. You take a Mega Man game and you make it a gacha game. Any combination of characters can wield any weapon, and it holds true to that Mega Man side-scroller gameplay. I think it's really good. A tier. Coin Dragon Master. Now this is my guilty pleasure. You have a bunch of dragons in this game with different abilities, and you make them fight. You have to get past stages, and you have to pull dupes and farm them. You can even pull dragons in the roulette, so it's exciting. I couldn't honestly put it higher than a B. It's so stupid, but it's good. I am putting it in front of Chronicle of Infinity, though. Speaking of underdeveloped games that got very lucky and blew up for no reason, Summoner's Greed. They only advertise through memes on like Facebook and stuff, and then all the boomers like it, and that's why it has so many downloads, but it is a tower defense with one map, a very limited pool of characters, probably one of the most boring games on the list. Do I put it in the F tier? I might have to put it down here with Click Deity. Click Deity is obviously the worst, but I mean, this game, bro. Diablo Immortal, is this even controversial? I don't know. It's obviously one of the best games on the Play Store. I don't think anybody can dispute that. The mobile gaming community is not the biggest part of the gaming community. Even people that don't really play mobile games, like you got console players over here playing this. It's a Blizzard game. A lot of people meme on it just because they want clout, because shitting on Blizzard gets you clout, I guess, but the game is unsurmounted. So many games these days are popping off because of copying their formula. It's clearly an S tier. It's got to be better than Phobies too. Mad Tail I brought over just because we played it this year. It is not out yet technically. It's got some nice charm to it, and I really appreciate the gear system that they have in this game. I think that that's a function most games leave out to their own detriment. Gear systems are always good in every single game, and it's hard to do well, so I get how that could be intimidating. They, however, took that challenge, completely knocked it out of the park, and their gear system is top notch. So I think they would probably be like a low A tier. Come to Us as Lost Centurio was lost potential. They had a chance to make a game that could have been amazing. There's no soul in this project. They were just trying to copy the idle trend, which I get, that's what everybody's doing. But if you have that much money, you could have at least come up with one unique game function. F tier. Cross Summoner R starts out very cool, and all of the characters are farmable. Even the rare SSRs, or whatever they're called, are farmable once you get far enough in the elite chapters, which is very nice. I just think that there's not anything to set this game apart from others, like on top of the list, Ulala. How does this even compare? It's very generic compared to these top tiers. In the A tier, we have beasts like Dragalia Lost, Path to Nowhere, so it's not an A tier. In the B tiers, we're getting to the games like Mythic Heroes, which is clearly an upgrade from Cross Summoner R. Can't really put it in the B tier, so in that case, I guess it's like a high C. League of Pantheons is in the exact same boat. It's the exact same deal as Cross Summoner, so since we're talking about it, this is also going to be a C, but it's going to be like a low C. Dislight clearly had a lot of passion put into it. You can tell that the developers really like their game. They actually play it, so they can be the highest C. Eternal Evolution took the idle formula and ran with it, adding talent trees. So we have the traditional dupe system, but now you actually get to select talents and upgrade your character in various ways that you can't in these other idle games. So I'll set it above Mad Tail and above Mobile Legends, but it doesn't have enough in it to really compete with Panilla's Saga yet. Genshin Impact is obviously S tier. They blazed the trail for all of these fake MMORPG games, just like Summoner's War blazed the trail for all of these gacha games. I would move it up, higher than Diablo, higher than Summoner's War. Have we achieved that yet? I think at the rate they're going, they're right on the cusp. Summoner's War keeps bringing new things to the table, so they're not really up to speed yet. They'll be right behind. I'm saving some of the S tiers for last. AFK Arena is going to be another S tier, another Trailblazer game. They pioneered the entire topic. They're obviously S tier, more than Phobies. Cookie Run Kingdom is rising very quickly. They're trying to boast their numbers with collaborations, though. They're collaborating with Summoner's War. You got to collaborate. At least you're doing it with one of the most powerful developers in the game right now. You're pushing A. Goddess of Victory is very sus. A lot of people really like this game. I guess it would be... yeah, it's passing Mythic Heroes now. Just the cult following, bro. People love this game. Infinite Magic Raid. Now, I'm not going to meme it. I know sometimes I let my relationships with these games, communities, and developers get in the way of my ratings, and I'm a little bit biased. Objectively, this game has the best gear system in the entire Play Store. Not only do they have the gachapon elements of Summoner's War gear farming, but this took it to an entire other level. You need to rank highly in the in-game events to acquire materials that you can use to forge supersets. If you wanted to get perfect substats for the perfect gear, you have a game to play for the rest of your life. Yeah, it's an S tier. And that's gonna do it. That's all the games we played this year. To be fair, I think it's a pretty decent amount of games. I know I didn't list every single game on the Play Store, and there's gonna be people commenting like, oh, but you didn't rate Figure Fantasy. I don't give a shit about Figure Fantasy. These are the games we played. If you want to follow along with the games that we're keeping up with, subscribe to the channel. If you like the video, then thank you so much. Feel free to join my Discord. But other than that, y'all, that's the 2023 Gacha Games tier list, and I'll see y'all later. Bye.